Did you recognize that piece that I played on the guitar? Did it seem really odd that I was playing it really slow when I started off, and then the second time through I played it a lot faster? Hey everyone, welcome to the Matt Mondero Music Channel. This is the first video for this channel, and we're going to start off with a series that I like to call Music Word of the Week. And the purpose of this series is to give a general and basic understanding over common and simple musical terms. I've been teaching for 17 years, and I've taught a range of young children from about 3 years old up to people in their 70s, and have taught many different things and have learned that sometimes the simplest terms are ones that they're unfamiliar with. Our first term for this video is going to be tempo. Let's jump into it. Now, this is a word you maybe have heard before, maybe not. Tempo simply just means the speed of the music, how fast or how slow it's going to go. And this is really important not only to the listener but also to the performers. Tempo really can kind of make or break the song. It can really affect the mood and how the player interacts with the song, or even really the listener is interacting with the song itself. You know, have you ever had a moment where you're kind of wanting to sing along with a song and the song is just too fast? It makes it too challenging to try to sing along with it because you can't get the words out. And of course, you know, the flip side of that would be that the song is too slow and it feels like it's dragging by. It feels like it's really taking away from the enjoyment because of how slow it's moving. As far as the basic understanding of tempo goes, you know, that's simply what it is just the speed of the song itself. Now, whenever we kind of get down to how do we understand it, there's really kind of two basic ways that we understand it. And I'm going to be focusing on the written portion of this. The two ways that we can understand tempo is either by what we call tempo markings, by using terms to describe the tempo itself, or another type is what we call BPMs, or beats per minute. The first one we're going to kind of talk about is going to be the tempo markings themselves. Now, it's a very common practice to use Italian terms such as allegro or presto or adagio or moderato. They give you more of a guide on kind of roughly where the tempo should fall. So, you know, like adagio really just means slow, and allegro means fast. Now, these are more interpreted by the performer, or, you know, if you're in a large group setting, the conductor. They're going to be more interpreted by these people to kind of go off of what they consider to be appropriate to the material, while everyone's definition of what slow or fast may be is going to vary. It really just depends. You know, for instance, if you ever listen to any classical music in particular, you can find 10 different examples of the same piece of music, and they're all going to have slightly varied tempos because they're being interpreted a little bit differently. And this isn't just with conductors, this is also with solo performers as well. And while I know it seems more interpretive, these can be very helpful, and this can really give some freedom to the performer themselves to not feel like they're really limited to being an exact, precise tempo itself. So this can be very freeing in this regard. Now, with the other one, with BPMs, or beats per minute, this is a more precise tempo setting. because they're going to tell you exactly how fast it's going to be by using, well, simply numbers. Beats per minute is going to tell you exactly how many beats you're going to have per minute. We can use a metronome, and a metronome, if you're familiar or not familiar, either way, it's going to just be basic clicks, and they're going to help you line out how fast or how slow your song needs to go, and it's a really good practice tool to use whenever you're trying to learn a piece of music. And of course you can adjust the speed of it. And so beats per minute in this case are going to be how many clicks are you going to have per minute. The lower the number, the slower it is. The higher the number, the faster it is. So if you think about how many seconds there are in a single minute, 60 seconds, well, 60 beats per minute would be 1 beat per second. Then of course if you double that, that would be 120 beats per minute. 2 beats per second at 120 beats. And then if you go even further and triple it, that would be 3 clicks per second, which would be 180 per minute. So the lower the number, the slower it's going to be. The higher the number, the faster it's going to be. On the screen you can see that I'm using a metronome, and this is the Metronome app that you can actually download in the App Store. And I'll put a link down below for you to click on it and try to download it if you are interested. These can be very helpful in telling you exactly how fast something needs to be, and very precisely, because if you're especially a composer and you want it to be a very exact type of tempo marking, then you're going to get that as long as you're following that exact measurement that is, that is presented by the composer. Kind of getting back to talking about whether or not we're going to use the tempo markings, the actual terms themselves, or the BPMs. These are going to be notated or written at the beginning of a piece of music. They'll either write the term itself or they'll write down the precise number, and it'll be an example like a quarter note equals 120 or an eighth note equals 68, something like that. If you're not familiar with what a quarter note or an eighth note means, we're going to cover that in a later video. We will use those two types of examples to tell the performer or the conductor what the exact tempo needs to be. Once again, it'll be written at the beginning of the piece of music. But also, you're not going to be locked into a single tempo in one piece. You can have multiple tempos. Well, there you have it. That is our first music word of the week, tempo. I hope you've enjoyed learning about it as much as I've enjoyed talking to you about it. If you have any comments or suggestions, or you feel like I might have missed something, please drop a comment down below. Please feel free to subscribe. And also, I'd like to say go visit my artist page, FretLevelZero, and check out some of that music that I've made. I hope to see you again with our next video. Thanks. Bye.